All right, welcome to your free masterclass of Maintain, Don't Gain Holiday Blueprint. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas. I know it seems really crazy to say that now, but really that is what we are prepping for, and it's going to come around really quick. So good on you for jumping on here and using this time to commit to changing your story this Christmas. Because for me, it was something that I dreaded. Christmas was really fun and exciting, but it also came with that dreaded sight of anxiety and stress when it came to the thought of what I was going to eat and how I was going to maintain, and then how I was going to mitigate all of these different events that I was going to without feeling like I had completely fallen off the wagon. And that happened year after year. I would get to January 1, I would feel miserable. I would feel like I had lost everything that I'd put that hard work in over the year, and I felt like I had to start fresh again. And it wasn't a nice feeling to feel like you had lost control over that holiday period, where it should be a really fun and exciting time that we spend with friends and family, and a lot of us have time off work as well. So good on you for being here, and let me take you through really quickly how this is going to work. So I'm going to give you some tools to take away today to work on over the next 4 weeks to reset you for Christmas, and that's going to help you move through that Christmas period, that silly season with confidence, and moving you through so that you're feeling fabulous by January. How does that sound? Pretty good to me. I wish I had something like this, but I had to learn the hard way, and it did take me about 10 years to figure this out. And now I'm going to give you the easy steps on how to make it work for you this Christmas. So let's get started. We're going to talk about the first thing that will be in the first week of this program. Now, this is the free masterclass, and this is the you do it yourself version. You'll get heaps out of it. You can definitely put all these steps into place by yourself and move through Christmas feeling fabulous. But there's also going to be an option that you can work with me, and everything will be pre-recorded. It is a step-by-step guide, and it goes really in depth on everything that we cover today. So that is an option that you can jump on and buy later on once you've watched through this and you think, yep, that's me, I need the extra support. But you're also going to get so much out of this free version that you can go off and do it on your own as well. Totally up to you. So the way that it's structured is week number 1, we talk all about mindset. And I want to talk to you about mindset today. What has held you back in the past, and what we see holds people back in the past, is mindset. We know that diets work. We know that exercise works. The mind is something that is completely missed in the weight loss industry and the fitness industry. They'll teach you how many calories to eat. They'll tell you how many reps to do. They'll tell you how many times a week to train, but they're not going to fix what's going on in your brain, and they're not going to help you with your mindset. So this is something that I want to go over, and I teach in my workshops and in my programs, because I believe that it is the biggest downfall in getting the body that you want. And when we look at mindset, there's 2 things that we want to cover today. One is the all or nothing mindset, where you're either completely on a diet or you're completely off a diet. And this happens a lot over the Christmas period. We spend all year really looking after ourselves, really putting in those good habits. We're on a diet, we're on a diet, we're on a diet. And as soon as we're out of that structure, everything goes by the wayside, and we're off the diet and we completely binge. We lose control and we end up feeling not that great. So what I want to teach you today is how we can be in the middle. We're not on the diet, we're not off the diet, we're just living a healthy lifestyle that maintains the weight that we've lost during the year. So obviously, if you're on this call, you're not here to be trying to lose weight over Christmas, because that would be a different program all on its own. We're really just trying to maintain all that hard work that we've put on, and all that hard work that we've put in, and we're trying to make Christmas fun again and take that stress away. So the first thing about talking about all or nothing mindset is How can we bring the structure of our counting calories, our food prep into the middle column of a healthy lifestyle? And how can we bring that flexibility that does come when we're off the wagon of eating what we want into the healthy lifestyle column? And the thing that I teach and I would love you to focus on is your protein portions. And here that brings the control into the middle, but it also gives you that flexibility of what else is on your plate. And week number 2, we dive really deep into protein. We work out how much protein you need for your body. I'll give you a calculation at the end that you can use so that you can use it with this free masterclass as well. And what you do is you work out how much protein you need for your body. You need to maintain how much protein you need to keep your body moving, and you stick with that. And the best thing about that is once you get to know how much protein is in certain foods, you can build your plate then around that. We don't have to be using the scales, take them to the parties, weighing our protein. Once you've got your cheat sheet, of which also comes in the program, of how much protein is in each portion of meal, portion of meat, or portion of plant-based protein, then you can build your plate around that. And that's a much more maintainable lifestyle, easier way of living rather than being really strict and controlled and then having to lose all of that strict restriction and control. And that's what happens when we go off the wagon. Who has felt that before? Because I used to live like that and it was not a fun and enjoyable way to live. You were either really, really structured and on and eating exactly what you needed to eat, but if you ate something off of that, it completely spiraled you onto the other side where you were off. So as it's called, the all or nothing mindset. And how do we fix that? How do we bring a different structure into that? We bring a little bit from both sides. We want the flexibility, but we also want a little bit of control so then that we know that we're getting what we want for our body to maintain all of the hard work that we've done during the year. And the one thing I want you to focus on is your protein. This is also going to help you feel full. It's going to help you feel satisfied. And so when you're going to these events and you're going to these dinners and you have a choice on what you're eating, there's buffets, you're going to a restaurant and there's a menu. How can you choose off that menu that's going to keep you in that goal structure of maintaining your weight without feeling super restricted? Knowing how much protein is in your portions is going to help you with that. So you first choose on what portion of what protein you may like, and then you will know from your 4 weeks prep, 4 weeks reset, how much protein about is in that portion. And then you'll know from the day how much you need to keep that hitting your goals. So yes, work out your protein goals. And then 2, you're going to spend a whole week on figuring out what protein is in what meals. And this is really fun because you get to start to research and you get to educate yourself on how much protein are in different foods. And it's quite interesting actually what foods have higher protein, what foods have lower protein, because what we find in the fitness industry is the number one thing that happens to people when they aren't losing weight but they're eating healthy foods is they're not eating enough protein. So they come to us and they say, I'm eating really healthy, I'm eating really clean, I'm not eating any sugar, I'm still not losing any weight. The first thing that we ask, and it's normally the thing that they are missing, is that they're not having enough protein. So if you can stay with that in mind, that your protein is your goal, it's your winner, it's going to hit you through the Christmas period, maintaining your weight. It's such an easy way of looking at how do I build my plate rather than being on an all or nothing mindset. And that gives you a little bit of control, a little bit of flexibility when you're going into these events, and you can leave feeling satisfied because you've had the the options to build your plate, to eat other foods, but also knowing that you've hit your protein targets. Because when we hit our protein targets, yes, one, you're going to keep maintaining the muscle that you've built over the year. You're going to keep maintaining that weight loss that you've worked on so hard during the year. And two, you're going to be satisfied. And what happens is when we go to these events or when we go out for dinner and we're choosing meals that are not high in protein, we end up not being satisfied, because the protein is there to satisfy us and make us feel full. It's a micronutrients that our bodies desperately need to function and function well. And so when we don't have enough of that on our plate, we don't feel satisfied. And then we're feeling that craving that we need something else. And a lot of the time that craving is something sweet. And then that's why we're going for that second meal of a dessert or more of the same meal, because we're not feeling satisfied, even though we know we're full. So who's ever experienced this before, where they pile their plate up and they eat all that delicious food and they know that they're full, they feel full, but they still want more. So the body is not feeling satisfied. The brain is not giving the signal to the body that it's satisfied and it wants more to eat. And so we go back and think, okay, I'm going to go and have that and then I'm going to feel satisfied. You go and eat that and what do you feel? Not satisfied. And that's because we're not hitting that protein macro and it's not giving us that signal of, yep, I'm feeling full, I'm feeling nourished, I'm feeling good. So this is a really key target that you can take into the holiday season that's really going to help you. It's going to be a winner of when you go to those events, that you can really build your plate in a really nourishing way. You can still have the option of having other things, but just being mindful of hitting your protein targets. And so that is really week number 2 in the program. Skipping back to week number 1 about the mindset is when we are creating a goal in our mind, if it is coming from a problem-solving mindset or structure, then we are always going to be solving a problem. When we are creating a goal from a creative structure, then we're always going to be creating. And when we break this down into more depth, you start to understand that pattern that you've been on every Christmas, every holiday, every time you have off work, every time you get out of routine. You notice that that problem-solving structure is there. So I'll explain it a little bit more. If you've gone through the year and your problem is that you want to lose a certain amount of weight. So I'm going to just grab a number out of the air. We're going to go with 5 kilos. My problem is I want to lose 5 kilos. And that is what you're working towards. I'm always trying to lose because the problem is 5 kilos. Either 2 things happen. Either you get to the 5 kilos and you lose the 5. And who's had this happen? They think, when I lose the 5, I'm going to feel great. I'm going to feel amazing. Oh my gosh, like this is going to be the best thing. I'm just going to love my body. I'm going to wear all these different clothes. And you lose the 5 kgs. You look in the mirror. You don't feel any of that. And then you think, if I just lost another 2 or 3, then I would feel all of those things. So notice there what's happened. You created the problem of the 5 kilos. You solved the problem by losing the 5, and then you created another problem. So this is problem solving, problem solving, problem solving. Other thing that happens is we self-sabotage and we put the 5 kilos back on. Now this happens a lot when we have holidays, time off work, sick kids, different things happening in our lives, is that self-sabotage comes back in and we put the weight back on and we create the problem again. Because the body is living in that problem-solving mindset and it always needs a problem to solve. That's how we're structured. If we are living in that structure, that's what happens. And you may be having one of those aha moments where, yeah, that has happened to me before. And it actually happens not just in the weight loss industry. This is every area of your life of problem solving, problem solving, problem solving. So what we teach is how to create a goal from a creative structure. So we're creating what we really want. And what we do is we ask the question, what would you like to create? And instead of saying, I want to lose 5 kilos, or even if you said, I want to lose 5 kilos, then the question that's asked is, for what purpose? So what I want you to do is I want you to write down on a piece of paper, if you haven't got one, pause the video, go grab one, come back. And I'm going to ask you the question, what would you like to create this Christmas regarding your health and your fitness and your wellness and your weight? What would you like to create? So think into January 1 and think of the person standing there, New Year's Eve, you're about to celebrate going into January 1. How does that person feel? What does that person look like? When you look at that, what would you like to create? Cool. And whatever you've written down, then I want you to ask yourself the question, for what purpose do you want to create that? And what you'll find is if you're getting other answers, start to write them down. And what we're really doing is just breaking down the goal and finding the true end result so that we can create to that. So what we do in the breakdown of the mindset mastery is we ask the question, and a lot of the time it is a weight loss goal, or it's I want to fit into a size 12 jeans, anything around those lines. And then we ask the question, same question, for what purpose do you want to be a size 10? For what purpose do you want to lose 5 kilos? And the answers that come up, I want to feel confident. I want to feel like I have energy. I want to feel radiant. I want to feel comfortable in my clothes. And then, you ask yourself the question again, for what purpose do you want to feel comfortable? Do you want to feel confident? And you just keep asking yourself that question, for what purpose, for what purpose? And then you'll get to a point where there's no other answers that come up. And that's the golden ticket. If you get to the point where you feel comfortable and confident and nothing else is arising, then your true goal, your true end result is, I want to create confidence in my own skin. Or I want to feel comfortable. I want to feel energized. And they are going to be your true end results. And from here, once we have our true end results, that is what we are working towards. That is what we are creating. And that changes us from a problem-solving mindset to a creative mindset. And then we've got our goal, we've got our new creation, which is amazing. We're moving from our problem-solving to our creating. And every day, every morning, a morning ritual starts and we repeat this to ourselves. I want to create the end result of, and we say that to ourselves, whatever you've written down there. We repeat this 5 to 10 times. For me, I've recorded all of mine and I listen to them while I do my stretching in the morning. I create the end result of, I create the end result of, on repeat, on repeat, on repeat. What we're doing is we're teaching the unconscious that this is our new vision. So we're changing that from the old vision in our subconscious that we're problem solving, that we're going into the day saying, I need to lose 5 kgs. I can only eat that because otherwise I'm not going to get to losing 5 kgs. Happy? Cool. Exciting stuff because it's so life-changing. This is your task number 1, to find out your end result, to find out your true end result. And then every morning, you're going to repeat this to yourself 5 to 10 times. From here, you will then write 3 action steps that you're going to do that day that are going to move you towards your creative vision. Now, this is going to be the first 4 weeks, or is going to be your reset moving into Christmas. And then you're going to keep doing this through the Christmas period. Because what we want to do is set up a beautiful structure that we can move through into the Christmas period that's going to help us when we're at those events, when we are off work and we're not in our normal structured routine. Morning routines are essential for setting your day up for success. And when we can start the day by really looking into our vision, feeling our vision, listening to our vision, saying our vision, you can even write it down 10 times, and then putting 3 action steps for the day that are going to help you towards that. You know that your day is going to be great because you're already moving towards those steps. Now, your 3 steps might be, I'm going to work out my protein for the day. If you've got an event on in the evening, a Christmas party or something like that, you can work out your protein, you know, the meals that you're having during the day, and then you've got an idea of what you need to be having at that event. Sounds cool? Awesome. This also is great when you're not at work, because when you are in your normal structured routine, you can take your meals with you. You know, you have your meal preps. If you've been doing that during the year, it's much easier to stay in that routine. So what we want to do is create this so that you can move it into, if you're having any time off, that you can, those 3 steps during the day, cool, I'm going to plan a little bit in advance of my day of what and where I'm going to get my protein from to hit my needs. Sounds good? We all following along? Yeah, cool. This is something for me that was a complete game changer. I went from fixating on calories, fixating on how many meals I needed to have a day, fixating on eating every 2 hours, and losing insight and intuition in my own body, to being able to eat intuitively and knowing how much protein I needed. And it was completely life-changing. It was like that, I can just let go a little bit and eat other foods and know that it's not going to make me fat, know that I'm not going to lose control because I wasn't in the all or nothing mindset, because I was in the middle. Let's bring you into the middle. And it was so, so life-changing. And that's why I want to share this with you. And this is why I know that you're on this call, because you're frustrated with that repeat. The same situations are happening. You're losing the weight, you're putting it back on, or you're losing the weight and you're still not happy. So I want you to love your body. I want you to move into Christmas feeling not daunted by the fact that you're out of routine, that you're out of structure, that you're out of work for a while, and that you're going to all of these events where you can't physically know and physically build your own plate sometimes to hit those calories if you've been doing that during the year, and move into the middle road where you've got a little bit of control with the protein and a little bit of flexibility. It's a much easier way to live. It's a much funner way to live. And it's something that you can then move into the year as well and keep maintaining your weight loss goal. So super excited to be able to share those tips with you, because they're going to be life-changing in themselves. So you've got your create your own vision, your true vision, that's going to move you out of problem solving and move you into creative. Action steps, creating 3 action steps every day that are going to move you towards your goal. And then step number 3, which would be week number 2 of the program, is your protein and finding out your protein. Question, I can hear it in your brain. How do I know how much protein to eat? Your protein target is worked off your weight. So the goal here is to work off your weight, so whatever your weight is, and we're going between a ratio of 1.7 and 2.3. Now, this depends on how much exercise you do, how active your lifestyle is. 1.7 would be someone that doesn't do a lot of exercise, pretty much no exercise, and sits at a desk all day. 2.3 would be someone that trains 5-6 times a week, even more, has a very active work life or day-to-day life. You'd be timesing your body weight by 2.3. So depending on where you are, choose a number and stick with that to start with. And that's going to be your protein target. So you're going to times that by your body weight. So easy, figure that out on depending where you are. Then depending on how you're going through the Christmas season, if you're going away on holiday and not training as much, you can drop the protein down slightly. Just moving along that ladder depending on what you're doing at that time. Easy peasy. It's such an easy way to stay in control, such an easy way to know that you're giving your body the nutrients that it needs with the protein. And I guarantee you that you're going to feel really satisfied, which is a feeling that doesn't come very often when you're either trying to lose weight or maintain weight. You're always feeling like you're needing more. And that mostly comes down to not hitting your protein. Cool. So that is giving you 3 steps that you can implement to help you with this Christmas period that's coming. And you can start implementing those now so that when Christmas comes, they are new habits. They are just there. You know how to do them. It just comes second nature to you. This is why I've set it so that you've got 4 weeks to really knuckle down, and then you can move that into the Christmas period, depending on when Christmas starts for you, because sometimes people's holidays start, closer to the start of December. 2 more things to cover. So if you're still with me, the next one is sleep. How important is sleep for weight loss? It's something that we take for granted in the weight loss industry, and we know how good, we always get told how good sleep is for us and how much we need it, but we're not specifically told how it affects our weight loss. So the quality of our sleep is just as important as the quantity. And a lot of the time we're told you need to sleep 7 to 9 hours a night. And that's fantastic. If you can get 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night, amazing. But is it quality sleep? Now for me, as a mum of 2, I know that I can't get always the quantity of sleep that I need, but I know that I can do things that will help with the quality of my sleep. And when I figured that out, ding, light bulb moment for me. I could control one aspect of my sleep that would help me with my weight loss in so many ways. And let me explain how that works. So not having enough sleep affects the decision making that we have during the day. So who's ever experienced this before, where they set their week's goals, they do their meal prep for the week, they're all set in stone. I'm going to have all of these different meals for the next 5 days, and I'm going to hit all my calorie targets. Then you get to Thursday, and you're starting to feel a bit tired and worn down, and those meals aren't so tempting anymore. And that motivation to hit the goal starts to diminish, and that decision making starts to move you into not choosing those meals and eating something else. So how tired we are really does affect the decisions that we make. It also affects our hormones. And when our hormones are affected, this creates different cravings. This creates different mood swings. This creates different how we react in a situation. If we're really stressed, do we then go to eat as a bifold product of stress eating? If we're tired, do we eat because we want energy? We're looking for sugary foods. So because that one thing of not having enough quality sleep can really affect the decisions that we're making during the day with food choices. So if we can get better quality sleep, not only can we make better food choices during the day, but we can also help our body rest and digest at night, which helps us burn more fat while we sleep. So the deeper sleep we can get in and the more of it, the more the body is in that rest and digest state, and the more our body can burn fat. So how do you get more deep sleep, you ask me? Because I know you're asking. Because this is what happened to me. Now, as a mum of 2, under 2, this is when I discovered this, is I needed deep sleep and a lot of it. And the two big things that were game changers for me was, one, I started to tape my mouth because I sleep with my mouth open. And when we sleep with our mouth open at night, we sleep in a lighter sleep because we're upper chest breathing, and it doesn't put us in that rest and digest. So to get into a nice deep sleep, into rest and digest, we need to be breathing into a full diaphragmatic breath to bring us into a relaxed state. When we upper chest breathe, if you try this now, put one hand on your upper chest and one hand on your lower ribs. You take a big breath in through your mouth and a big breath in through your nose. Notice the difference in the areas that move. When we breathe through our mouth, it's more upper chest. When we breathe through our nose, it's more diaphragm, the lower ribs. So think about that at night. If you're sleeping with your mouth open, your upper chest breathing, we're really only using the top portion of the lungs. It's keeping us in a lighter sleep. It's not putting us in that deep rest and digest. So one easy thing that you can try is mouth tape for sleeping to help with more deep sleep. That's going to help with more rest and recover during the night. It's also going to help with more fat loss while we sleep. Easy bonus. The other thing that helped me a lot was doing a small breathing meditation before I went to bed. Now, this helped open my nasal passage so that I could inhale more through the nose. I could get more oxygen in. Also, when we breathe, 20% of oxygen goes to our brain. So think about that with our decision making as well. If we can get more deep sleep, more oxygen to the brain, it's going to help us with our decision making the next day. It's going to give us more quality sleep. Two easy things that you can add in before you go to sleep. They're going to help with your quality. I can't tell you go to bed at a certain time and get up at a certain time because that doesn't work for everybody. But I can give you tips and tools that help with the quality of your sleep. And by doing that, you're going to get a better sleep. You're going to wake up more refreshed. It's going to help you with your decision making during the day. It's also going to help your mindset. So two awesome tools. I'll share the link below for the breathing technique. It's a 2.5-minute breathing technique called the warm-up breath. It's small breath holds through the nose, holding the breath, coming off, all nasal breathing. It uses the nitric oxide, our body's natural gas that it produces, to help open our airways. So that then if you do tape your mouth, you've got a nice, beautiful open nasal passage and not feeling congested. And the one thing that I find when I teach breathing techniques or give breathing techniques to clients is that when they feel congested, it gives them a little bit of anxiety when they tape their mouth. So doing the breathing technique is going to help open those airways so that you can drop into a nice deep sleep easier and feel more relaxed when you're putting that tape on. So do these two things. I promise you, you'll have amazing deep sleep and you'll wake up feeling refreshed, and it's going to help you not only with your weight loss, but with every area of your life, because we know how beneficial good sleep is. Awesome. Lucky last before we jump off the call, because I know now you have already got amazing tools that are going to help you move into this Christmas period. Let's talk about how we bring it all together. What is that going to look like for you over the next 4 weeks as you build this reset to move you into Christmas? You're going to start with your morning ritual, morning routine of going through your goals, going through your new choice. You're going to pick 3 action steps each day that are going to help you move towards that. You're going to work out your protein target, and you are just going to go nuts on finding out what protein is in what food and how you can build your meals around that to hit those protein targets. And then 4, we have the mouth tape if you'd like to try it, and also the breathing technique before bed. Implementing all of these is going to give you the structure that you can move into the holidays feeling in control, giving you a goal every day and keep you in line with your true vision. And I promise you, if we work with these, you can move through the Christmas period, maintaining weight, feeling fabulous, and hitting January 1 on point and not feeling super flat, because that is the worst. It's stressful enough as it is at Christmas time, and then having to deal with the stress of putting all that weight on that you've worked so damn hard over the year to get off. Nobody wants that. That's why you're on here, and that's why I'm giving you the tools, because I suffered enough, and I know that so many people are as well, and I want to share the love with you all that Christmas doesn't have to be like that. Let's bring the joy back to Christmas. Let's bring the joy back to food, and let's bring the joy back to loving ourselves. So thank you all for being on here. I hope you got heaps out of it. Take some notes. You can always re-listen to it again. The offer that is on the table for the 4-week program is the 4-week reset. It's called Maintain, Don't Gain Holiday Blueprint. The way that it works is we go through everything we went through today, but there is worksheets, there is videos. It's a week-by-week guide. It's split up so that you have a whole week to work on each section, and then by the 4th week you bring them all together and you just start moving that through, so that by the time you hit that holiday period, you're in such a beautiful structured mindset, such a beautiful structured way of eating, but you still have the flexibility that you can move through with the confidence that you will maintain that weight and not gain. What the deal is it's $99 for you if you are watching this. It is valued at $249. We also have the bonus offer of adding on the Pure Lean Diet Dropper. Helps suppress your appetite, it gives you energy, and it also burns fat. So it's an amazing tool to use alongside all of these to help you through the Christmas period. A lot of our clients use it for when they go on holidays, because it does help you with that suppression of appetite and the sugar cravings, especially when you're out and about on holidays and you're picking at different meals, picking at different foods, and you're not always able to hit those protein targets. That's there to support you with feeling satisfied and not feeling like you have to keep eating, and not having that uncomfortable feeling of overeating. So it is a bonus add-on to the program. The program itself is so in-depth and gives you so much information, but I also wanted to do the free version so that if you want to go through and do all of those on your own, you're still going to get amazing, amazing results. I appreciate you all. Sing out to me if you have any other questions, but have a great Christmas. I can't believe I'm saying that already, because it feels like it's so far away, but we're all going to blink and it's going to be here. And if we don't put the 4-week reset in now, then we're going to end up at Christmas feeling like we are out of control, feeling like we aren't satisfied, feeling tired. And by the time we get to January, we have to start again. So the choice is up to you. You can do it on your own. You have all the information, or you can come and do it with me, and we can have some super, super fun with it, and we can all celebrate Christmas together in our own little group. So I will see you all soon. Appreciate your time, and thank you.